Welcome to the Moms Wake Up and Win channel. I'm hoping all of you amazing parents are doing great out there today. Listen, I just want to come to you and I want to give you just a couple of tips. And I know as we are doing our hustle and bustle going on, I want to give you some simple tips that's going to help make your life a little bit more simpler. I know you're saying, what can you tell me that I don't already know? Listen, just because we know something don't actually mean that we do it all the time. So I want to give you a few hacks, just simple practical things that you can do every single day to put into your daily routine. I know that you may already have a schedule. This is for my new moms, my in between moms, my already veteran moms. I know how it is trying to wrangle those little ones together and try to get yourself out of the door. But I want to give you, let's not forget, I don't want to leave my dads out too as well, because I know that some of my dads are single dads and they have to wrangle the kids, do everything, comb the hair, put the clothes on, fight about eating breakfast. But I want you to have some simple steps that can help you navigate through just the simplest wake up and win every single morning. So it's a wonder, again, it's a wonder how we ever survive, right? How do we ever survive without having routines? I know my kids now are fully grown. I have an amazing grandson that's now 6, and I'm trying to figure out how did I wrangle two small kids, doing everything I had to do, and still survive as I am today? Well, let me tell you guys, it was a challenge because I didn't have steps, I didn't have mentors, I didn't have a coach, I didn't have anybody to show me. Don't get me wrong, I had family members, but they basically said, get it done. You are a natural at this. I wasn't a natural at this. I was 19 years old when I had my first child. So, I didn't have no experience just coming out of high school. I had no idea what I was doing. But I've been in the space of parent coaching for a little bit over 10 years. I am an NCS. I love doing it. I am a postpartum doula. I love doing everything that contains children. Here's why: they are our future. And so, like, I like to pour into them, but it all starts with you, the amazing parents that are growing these little ones that are going to be great, big ones. So let's jump right into it. It is great to be here. Before I do that, I want you to like and I want you to share and I want you to push that notification button, because on this channel, I am going to be giving you practical steps. Some are going to be funny, some are going to be crying. It's going to be a mixture across the board. But I want you to push that like and subscribe button, and I want you to leave a comment. Let me know what you want to hear about. What concerns or what things do you have anxiety about? I know I work with a lot of parents that have anxiety about parenting, about being a good mom, about being a good dad, and how do they navigate having a second child when you have a new one. I'm going to be talking about that on all of these platforms that I'm currently on right now. So I want you to be the first one to know when I'm going live or when I'm posting on my shorts. I want you to know and be in the know that when we come together, we are a tribe. This is just not for me, but it is also for you. We're in this together. I want to walk with you every step of the way. So it's a wonder why we're here today. And we're talking about something that resonates with all of us, whether you are a grandmother. Can I just tell y'all, parenting has a new face. It's a mom and dad sometimes. It's a mom and a mom. It's a dad and dad. It's a grandma, granddad. It's uncle. It's auntie. Our dynamics of family has changed, but the issue is the same. The concerns are still the same. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're just getting started or you've been in the game as long as I have. You still have some type of concern. And so, like, I want to get you to this point that you have confidence in what you're doing with your children. I want you to stand proudly in your position as parents, whatever type of parent you are. You may be a foster parent, you may be an adopted parent. Parenting is across the board. You still have the same concerns. So let's jump right into it. So today I'm going to show you some practical steps that can help streamline your mornings and make them smooth and more enjoyable for both you and your children. So the goal is not to survive the morning. The goal is to thrive doing it. Can I say it's not just to survive, just, like you just grabbing you a cup of coffee in the morning time and you spilling it and the baby just flinging from your arms and crying and you trying to drag the kids. Y'all know, y'all dragging the kids, trying to put them in the car. No. We want it to be a morning of thriving during this time, turning what can be a stressful time into an opportunity to set a positive tone for the day. I always believe how you set the tone for the day is how the rest of your day is going to go. It may not go completely, but when you wake up, you want to start your day with an attitude of gratitude. That's number one. But I know how it is. You wake the kids up, they be like, I don't want to get up. They whining, they rolling on the floor. Come on, somebody. I know that. Listen, you trying to put on, you like, I don't want to wear that. Okay, well, just put something on. The kid go out the door. You don't realize they got on two mixed match socks. They decide, I want to be a princess today. Okay, babe, put your princess dress on, put your Superman clothes on, keep your pajamas on. I just need to get you out the door and get you to the daycare. I need to get you to the school, right? We don't want to have those mornings all the time. I'm not saying that those times not going to happen. Sometimes let the baby wear the princess outfit to the daycare. Who is hurting? She decided she wants to be a mermaid today. That mermaid outfit ain't hurting nobody. But here's the thing. You don't want to battle every single day. You don't want it to be whereas you dread the mornings because every single morning goes every single day. Here's what I always tell my clients. Prep the night before. Prep the night before. We try to do everything the day of. No, get the lunchbox ready. Get the clothes out. I always tell my kids like pick out the two outfits that you want. Now you navigate that. Like if you anything like my daughter, she don't want my grandson going out the door looking like he finna join a circus. So it's like pick out the clothes that you want that matches, and then you allow them to pick it out. They're thinking that they did it on their own, but you kind of help them and navigate them a little bit. So you have them to pick out their clothes the night before. Get two outfits. Because the kid gonna change their mind when they wake up. That was last night, but then when they wake up, like, I don't want that. But you have the two outfits. Lay those clothes out before bedtime. Let them choose, like I just said, if they're old enough to. This can reduce morning battles and help them feel empowered. Here's the thing: you're giving them, helping them make great choices. So when they think that they've done this, they really have, because you say pick two ones, pick your shoes out, pick your socks out, and then here's another hat. Sometimes it won't match. It's okay. Here's what you're doing. You're helping them to help you get ready for the morning. So all the time, it may not match all the time. It's okay. It's the point is they choose two outfits. And then you let them stick with those two. Because you know how they do. They're going to try to go in the closet. No. You pick these two. Pick from these two. It's a win-win. Lunch and snacks. Have them to pick out. I know when I used to be a nanny, I would have my kids make their lunch. So they came in from school. Okay, guys, let's make your lunch for the next day. They pull their lunch, they got their snacks, they put them in the fridge, they got their water bottles, and all they got to do is just grab that in the morning time. That's another hat right there. We prepared everything. That way, if they wanted sandwiches, if they wanted mac and cheese, if they wanted peanut butter, whatever they wanted, we packed that all up. They put it in the refrigerator. It's already done. And then all mom and dad had to do was go in there. Guys, get your lunch. Let's get in the car, right? Also, what I want to say for breakfast, if your kids normally eat the same thing, put the bowls and stuff already out. I know with my daughter, she puts the plates and stuff already out. Make meals in advance for breakfast. She's really good. She'll make some waffles for breakfast. She'll make some potatoes for breakfast. She'll make some sausage and biscuit, and she'll put them all in a container. So all she has to do is go in the refrigerator, pick out the breakfast, boom. Cut your strawberries and your fruit up at nighttime, or get fruit cups. If you want them to have a fruit in the morning time, put that all together. All they got to do is grab it, eat it, and you're out the door. Bags and shoes sitting by the door. That is a great hack. Again, we have a system here in our house. My grandson, he has his backpack ready to go. He has to put his water bottle in there, his shoes and everything are by the door, jackets and everything by the door. Here's why. It eliminates the last minute scrambling around looking for missing shoes and homework. Right? When my grandson comes home, he knows that when he's doing his homework the night before, we put everything in his bag, his journal, all his assignments that need to be signed by his mom. We put them back in the bag. So when he's at school, He has everything because why? We do everything in the moment. Can I say it again? Everything in the moment. So that way we're not crying, Mom, where's my homework? Mom, I can't find my shoe. Why? Everything when you are preparing, you're putting the shoes with the clothes. Now, if you're like us, we have a specific place that we have shoes at. They should be by the door, by the garage. When we're able to put your shoes on, let's walk out the door. Being prepared in advance, you can shave out precious moments from your morning routine, giving you more time of listen, things are going to come up. Trust me when I tell you. The kid is going to do something, you're going to forget something, but it gives you that extra time just in case unexpectedly things happen. They will. You may have to be in carpool a little bit longer, but listen, it's okay. You don't feel rushed. Why? Because you have everything that you prepared for the night before. Establish a consistency routine. This is what I find out a lot about my clients. You have to be consistent. I'm not saying you got to be perfect. I say be consistent at what you're doing. Kids like schedules. They like routines. You have to be consistent, and so will they. Children thrive on routines, and a consistent morning schedule can reduce the number of power struggles and tantrums. Routines give children a sense of what's coming next. I've always said this as a nanny and as a newborn care specialist, as a postpartum doula, as a parenting coach. Kids like routine. Here's what get kids discombobulated is when the parents are discombobulated. When you are scrambling, your kids are scrambling. When you are anxious, your kids are anxious. When you're all over the place, they're feeding off of your energy. So, but if they see that there's a routine gives them a sense of what's coming next. When I'm doing sleep training, I let them know, a routine in some of my cases. I tell them the kids like to know. They know sound machine goes on. You read a story, you swallow them up, you have the bottle. Then they know, even when you get them as newborns, they start knowing what the routine is. What am I saying? I'm saying that when your kids come home, they know homework. You may let them go outside for a little bit. Then they have supper time. And then they have a quiet time before it's time to transition into bedtime. They're going to read a story. They're going to have a bath. There's a system that they know that is coming. Even if you're a working parent, I was a working parent, but my kids knew what the routine was, and it helped them along the way. Now my grandson is in a routine. He knows what time to wake up. He brushes his teeth. He then comes and have his breakfast. Then he knows, get your book bag, put your water in your book bag. Then he knows, I'm ready to go to school now. Here's why, because it makes transition easier and quicker. Here's a simple breakdown of an effective morning. Wake up time. Establish a consistent wake up time. We're all back in school now. And if you're seeing this, then you may be back in school. You may be going on, it doesn't matter if you're back in school, going on summer break, going on fall break. It doesn't matter what breaks or what time it is. I still establish a wake up time. Kids these days wake up before Jesus. Can I tell you? They wake up before the birds these days. These kids are up at 6 o'clock in the morning and they ready to rock and roll. If your children are old enough, they can use an alarm clock. I've done this with some of my clients in a past. They have like stoplights these days that you could put in your kid's room. And then you say, hey, listen, when the light is red, you stay in your room. When the light is yellow, you can get up, start moving around, and read a book quietly in your room. You can only come out when the light is green. Again, you're establishing a routine that your kid's not coming out at 5 o'clock in the morning and want to rock and roll. No, ma'am. No, sir. Why? Because if you start that habit, it's a hard habit to break. I always tell my clients, do not start a habit that you cannot consistently keep up over a long period of time. Here's what they do. They try to stay up with their kids. They try to let their kids dictate what the routine is going to be. No, they are in your world. Well, why do I say that? It's because if your day starts at 7, their day starts at 7. This is when they get a tad bit older, but it starts when they're little. If you start their routine when they're little, it's going to be a consistent routine. Even when they're sick, even when company comes in, Even when you travel, like I have lots of high powered clients that travel around the world. I said, stay on the routine, just adjust it to the time zone that you're in. But the routine still stays the same. Independence, you are fostering a sense of independence, as well as guiding them that they are staying on the routine. Get up. Listen, this is not giving them a sense of independence, but also helps them avoid repeating getting up 100 times at nighttime. Getting ready in steps. Break it down. Make it manageable for them. Like, again, when you get up, brush your teeth, getting dressed, eating breakfast, visualize charts. Charts are a wonderful thing, guys. My refrigerator, I told my daughter, like, my refrigerator look like it's a whole schoolyard up on my refrigerator, a whole classroom. Why? Because there's charts. If you get dressed, there's a start. Sometimes it works for some kids, sometimes it don't. You have to find what works for your family. So if your child likes to get praise, praise them with stars. I don't bribe children. That's one thing I don't do. Like, I'm not bribing you with a toy. I'm not bribing you with candy. I'm not bribing you, but I'm giving you praise for something that you're gonna have to do anyway. Right? So kids like to be praised. So have a stars up, have circles up. Say, hey, listen, you didn't get a star today because your bed wasn't made up. You didn't get a star today because your shoes was not put by the door. Now, it's not a thing. I don't use it. We don't use it as a punishment, but we give it as showing them these are what your responsibility is every single day. And kids will forget, but as it becomes a consistent thing, they're going to know, and it's going to stick. But you can't be all over the place one moment and then expect for them to, like, oh, okay, be back. No, it has to be done on a consistent basis. And so, like, if you're a chart person, give them a chart up on the refrigerator. So then when you say, hey, did you put your dishes in the sink after breakfast? Did you push your chair up on the table? Did you clean up your mess that you made? What is this? I love Montessori. Montessori teaches about cleaning up behind yourself, being independent. Did you put your silverware in the sink? They haven't quite gotten to the dishwasher, but they can put it on the counter and they can put it on the sink. Here's why: they're helping you and they feel big boy and big girl. I've got so many kids to say, I did it. Yes, you did. And I praised them. I did it all by myself. They want to do that. So this is how you help yourself too as well. Have try some music. I love dancing. My grandson loves dancing and singing, y'all. Like, let me tell you, he's the next Fred Astaire. Okay. If you I've made songs out of the most silliest things. You know, like I may say something, brush your teeth, brush your teeth so clean, brush your teeth, brush your teeth, brush your teeth so clean. Now like, everybody doesn't have that upbeat like me, but it's, again, kids like fun. Make make what you're doing fun. Don't make it like, okay, boom, like you're in the military. No, have some fun with it, and you'll be surprised on how they will come in. They're singing at school, they're hanging out with their friends. You can do the same thing at home. And I get it. You're tired. You're just waking up. You hadn't had your first morning coffee. But once you get moving, trust me, it's going to come to you. And once you know what your kids like, you can drive to their tune. When they see you doing it, they're going to do the same thing. Keep your breakfast simple. Listen, guys, you ain't got to go do it. Listen, my child does a continental breakfast, people. Keep it real simple. Continental. You ain't got to be doing, you got a 5-course meal going on for your children. You don't have the time. If that means getting some yogurt, if that means getting a bagel, if that means getting a waffle, and it can still be nutrition. You can get you some fruit cups. You can cut up some apples the night before. They can have apples in there. They don't have to always have sugary bars and cereal every single morning. I just said prep before. Here's a hack for us: prep on Sundays. We always say Sunday's prep day for everybody, whether you're prepping for the week, your meal planning, because that's exactly what you're doing. Prep for the week. Make your waffles ahead of time. Make your eggs ahead of time. Listen, those eggs don't go bad, y'all. If your kid likes eggs, make the eggs ahead of time. And then you can add a fruit to that. You can we love grapes and apples here. Stay away from the sugar high. Here's why: because then your child is on the sugar high, and when it comes down, their brain is not functioning right. So I know it's a lot easier to throw them a protein bar. It's a lot easier that they chew on the sugar, and that's all they have. No, give them something that their brain can function off of because they're in school all day long. Yogurt, parfait, smoothies. Oh my God, you're slipping on smoothies. Kids actually like smoothie, guys. If you do the greens with the fruit in there and add just a little bit of agave, kids will drink the smoothie up. Avocado, eggs. Here's why. Start them off young of liking vegetables. My grandson, for the first few years, was a vegetarian because that's all his mama served him. And he still today loves his salad. He loves salads. He loves green. He loves all his vegetables. Those are some of the things that you can do. Yogurt is good. You can add some granola with your yogurt, giving them that energy that they need to get the day started. Incorporating your children's process, even letting them choose their meal options. Now, of course, they're going to want the sugary. Yeah, you do. Let's let them choose between two options, giving them a sense of control that helps them avoid the breakfast argument. And here's another thing, too. Now, this is just me. If your child is not hungry, sometimes your kid wake up and they're not hungry. You can also make them, back when my mama made me, you can make them a cheese toast, y'all. A piece of cheese, mama put on a piece of toast, hand it to them in the car. You can chop it up in 4 pieces, put it in a Ziploc bag, because some kids are just not hungry when they're just getting up. They are not morning people. Put their breakfast, easy breakfast, in a bag, put it in their backpack, and they can have that later if they get hungry. Morning can feel rushed, but it's important that you carve out one moment to calm everybody down. And even if it's just 5 minutes, here is some morning routines. Now, again, taking deep breath. I did this morning, like with my grandson, taking a deep breath. For like my brand new moms, that before you go crazy during the day or huffing and buffing, cuddle with your baby. Cuddle time. Sometimes just going out a little bit early and just having a cuddle time. It calms you down and it calms them down. Deep breathing and stretches. Kids like to be silly anyway. You can just stand there and say, wiggle out your sillies. Like I used to do that, like when I used to work at a daycare. Wiggle out and you got them wiggling out in the morning time, like, wake up, shake up, wake up, body, wake up, body. They love those things like that. Those are some things that you can do in the morning time as too. These are just small moments to help reduce the anxiety because can I tell y'all, kids do get anxiety. You be thinking like, well, what do they have anxiety about? Just being a kid, period, these days, guys. Just being a kid. The hustle and bustle of parenting goes off on our children. You have anxiety. Your kids feel your anxiety. They see your anxiety. It's in the atmosphere. Now they feel nervous. Now they feel anxious because they're feeding off of your energy. But if you if you take a moment first, I always tell my parents, before you touch a baby, before you touch a child, have a moment. Come on, now, this is for somebody. Have a moment with yourself first. Now, whether that's writing in your journal, that's spending time with God, that's taking you a morning walk, that's you getting up doing a little exercise. Have a moment first before you do anything. I always like to have a moment of attitude of gratitude. Thanking God for just waking me up and starting me on my day. You see, I just took that moment. I just took that moment first just for me and God to just commune so he can lead and guide me to show me what I need to be doing for the day. Because trust me, as soon as you open up the door, the world is like, hello, here I am. Now you're on the mission, right? But before you be on the mission of centering yourself first. And when you're centered, then that will go around the room. Okay? As I tell parents often, we need to do everything for our kids to save time. You do not. I'm going to say it again. We think it's a lot more easier for us to do it for our kids because it saves time. It does in a way, but it also makes them depend on you more. So then when you're doing everything for them, Mom, where's my shoes? Dad, I can't find my coat. Mom, she looked at me, she took, Mom, I need water. I need, and that's all you hear. Mom, dad, all the time. I mean, you like, if I had a quarter, I watched a TikTok video. A woman said they did squats every time that child called their name. They was their their butt looked really good after they were finished with them squats. Because if you say how many times your kid call your name a day, 150,000 times. 150,000 times. Because you're thinking that you're doing them a favor by doing it for them. No, you're not. Here's what you're doing. You have to teach them actually how to make mornings more efficiently by helping themselves, dressing themselves, teaching. Some kids these days can't do the simple things because the parents have done it all for them. Help your kids learn how to basic Montessori. Have your kids to learn how to start putting their shirts on early. Like my kids were dressing themselves by the time they was 2. My daughter was potty trained by the time she was 2. Putting their shoes on the right feet. Most kids don't know their left from their right. Start, easy, putting their socks on, putting their shoes on. That gives you extra time, and then over time, they're going to be quick. Setting the table. Oh my, this is one that I don't see too often. Teach your kids how to set the table. Why I say that? Because now you involving them into the process instead of them sitting them in front of the TV or sitting them in front of their iPad, have them to help you out. Hey, baby girl, why don't you get the plates? In our house, we have in our pantry, there's a place they can pull out. The kids can get their plates. They can get their silverware. They can get their cups. They can set the table. They can help out. Why? You're fostering independence. Cleaning up. Believe it or not, I bought my grandson, housekeeping stuff. I said, you don't have no maids around here, sir. He knows how to sweep the floor. Now, they're not going to do it perfect. They're still kids, and they're not going to clean like you clean. So don't expect for them and fuss at them because, oh my God, you missed a spot. No. That's not what you're teaching. You're teaching long habit skills that will go with them and grow as they get older. Don't expect your 2-year-old to be a professional housekeeper. They're 2. They're going to mess up and go right back. But if you start at 2 by saying, here, take your plate to the sink. Now, they may drop some stuff, but what are you doing? You're teaching them independency. They're going to have it anyway. I do it all by myself. No, don't do it. Y'all know how they talk. But now, by the time they're 5, they're being conditioned. They're being consistently cleaning up after themselves, sweeping after themselves, putting stuff in the trash can, right? Encouragement of cleaning up. When your children feel the capability, congratulate them. They'll be more engaged and willing to cooperate with helping. When I was working in private homes, the kids used to help me with their laundry. Now, that's a big one right there. Have your kids bring their clothes to the laundry room. You're washing them. They can bring their clothes and put them in the laundry. And when you fold them up, they can put their clothes away. Independence. Sometimes the key to a smooth one is just managing expectation for yourself, for your children. As parents, we often expect much of ourselves trying to juggle everything perfectly. But remember, it's okay that things don't go exactly as planned. Here's what I want to say about that. There is no S in mom or dad. What do you mean, Jackie? There's no cape on your back. You're not super mom and you're not super dad. You're not super auntie. You're not super aunt. You're not super grandmama. There's no S. You're not walking around with the cape on. And everything is not going to go perfectly right every single time. I've had clients that will get literally upset because they had this idea in their head, well, this is the way it's supposed to go. I read this is the way it's going to go. I saw this. No. Now you're putting this pressure to live up to what you see or read on social media or read in a book. Those studies, those things that you're seeing, what they're not telling you most of the time, that it's a tribe behind them. There are people that are helping them. They're not doing this all on their own a lot of times. There are some that do it on their own and can be very successful. But listen, that is not your journey. That's their journey. And your journey is going to look different from theirs. Being flexible. Some mornings won't go smooth, and that's okay. Build a buffering time for unexpected events like your temper tantrum, spilling milk during breakfast time. If you plan to leave the house at 7:30, I ain't listen. It's been plenty of times. I have this, I'm gonna leave at this time, and I'm 15 minutes behind time. Those things happen. Stay positive. That's one thing that I like to say. Stay positive. Stay positive. Celebrate the small wins. You want everything to go, and listen, this is called a journey, not a destination. I tell parents this all the time. But as you're going on your journey of parenthood, enjoy it. It's the small things. It's the laugh. It's the hold when they come and hold your hand. It's when they come hold your leg. And as you celebrate the small wins, did your child get dressed on their own? Did they leave the house on time? Acknowledge those wins, both for yourself and your kids. Positive reinforcement go a long way to reduce stress. I tell my clients all the time, have fun. We've forgotten the art of having fun with having children. We make it like they're in boot camp, and then we are the warden in the boot camp, and it's our job to keep them on lockdown. No. It's about learning, growing. And each stage, there's going to be a new growth, and there's going to be a new learning curve. But if you stay consistent and stay the course, they will get the lesson. So that being said, give a hug and a kiss and a smile today, because the life that you change will be somebody else, but the life that you change will be your own. This is another episode of Moms Wake Up and Win. I want you to go and have an awesome and amazing day today.